The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
It's an off-season edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas, and the SWBC studios. Welcome in, everybody. We've got Patrik "No-C" Walker, Josh Rodriguez.
Hi.
Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. Glad you were with us. Isaiah Stanback is busy being a national superstar, and he's on Good Morning Football all weekend long. There's so much going on in his world, and Patrick's holding up the brand new addition to our world. Put it in your own.
Go to your.
Yeah,
go
put
to
it
your
on.
own camera.
Yeah. There you go. Now we can.
Now we can do it.
Take a look at that.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. I think it's available.
It's already.
It's not now. It's not out yet.
Oh, it's not out
April, early April.
Oh,
It's coming.
okay. Well, there it is. That's the Dallas Cowboys Star Magazine draft guide. Got a Ashton Genty article from Tommy Yarish, who's on this show.
Might be a science lab in there.
There is a science lab right there. And then we've got some rankings and some scouting reports for all the positions in the NFL draft.
And I got a bone to pick with you, man. I don't want to tease
we're
the
picking bones
rankings
early.
a little bit, but defensive tackle.
Bone to pick with me?
Yeah.
With my rankings?
Yeah.
Let me see what I put in the magazine.
Let me
Number
Yeah.
4.
Okay,
let
number
me
4.
also see.
I'm going to tease a little bit. Number 4
Is it
ranked
Walter
defensive
Nolan?
tackle. It's Walter Nolan,
Yeah,
Old Miss.
Yeah, I should put him lower.
Oh, my goodness.
Got it.
The disrespect.
No, there's
Walter
no
Nolan.
disrespect there. I think it's a great defensive tackle class.
And then Mason
so I
Graham,
have-
number 1 with his broccoli haircut. You
yeah,
kidding me,
his
dude?
broccoli haircut's going to be awesome in the NFL. Mason Graham, number 1. He's a top 10 pick. Derek Harmon, number 2. Kenneth Grant from Michigan, number 3.
Don't give him all.
Walter Nolan,
give him all
number
the goods.
4.
Don't give him a
give
day.
him-
I can give him all the.
Don't give him
I can give him the defensive
Don't give him-
tackle class. We're not selling
just wondering where
magazines
you
with
put,
Mason Graham.
I was wondering where you put Alfred Collins. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, a little disrespectful.
Yeah, that's a smidge low for me. Just a smidge.
Listen,
What are you doing, man?
listen.
Come on, Kyle.
He's like, I had 3 days.
Stand on your hill, Kyle.
I watched 150
Stand on your
prospects.
hill, Kyle.
150 prospects. I wrote 110 bios for the draft magazine itself, and I've ranked 414 players. And this magazine is due the week after the combine.
Yeah.
So it's still early.
He's right.
Like these are no pro days, no
right.
workouts, no
100%.
30 visits. This is all pure film is what this is. And so, yeah, I'm going to stand on
Stand
my
on your
table.
Stand on the business.
And Walter Nolan's number
That's
4
what
in the
I'm talking
defensive
about.
tackle class, and Alfred Collins is number 7. But I did have a 3rd-round grade on Alfred Collins. He's a great player.
Okay.
So
Give me.
I think it's a deep defensive tackle class, and I think Dallas should dip their toe in the water in terms of defensive tackle overall.
There's a lot of good players in there.
Yeah,
Shouts
there's
to
good
Kyle.
players.
Shouts to Kurt for Draft Magazine. It's coming soon.
Yeah, really
Dallas
excited
Cowboys.
about it. Tommy wrote a ton of features, too. I want to give him credit
Shouts
for it.
out to Ty.
Eh.
It should be a lot of fun.
That's how you feel. KY.
You got KY and TY.
KY and TY.
His is in reference to a former wide receiver here with the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Mine's in
13-18,
reference of something I
signed
can't
TY.
talk about on the air.
Yeah, I'm jelly.
Let's get into some news and notes outside of the fact that the Star Magazine draft guide is available very, very soon.
Yes, sir. Well,
Can
first
they pre-order their copy? I think they
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Getting
Soon.
close.
it's getting close.
Just keep tuning in. DallasCowboys.com.
It's getting close. So the Cowboys, they've kind of slowed down their transactions, and now we're talking about a couple of key names that they lost in free agency. One being Brandon Cooks, and we'll talk about what the impact of that is. Brandon Cooks returns to the New Orleans Saints. He's going to join Kellen Moore. He wasn't in Dallas when Kellen Moore was an offensive coordinator, so it'll be their first time together. But Brandon Cooks is looking to, for lack of a better way to put it, cook in New Orleans as he did in the Drew Brees era. And then we talk about Cooper Rush. We were talking about what was the backup quarterback situation going to look like in Dallas. Cooper Rush has signed on with the Baltimore Ravens. He will now back up former league MVP Lamar Jackson. I had some conversations yesterday within the building, inside the building, I should say, and it does not sound as if the Cowboys are even remotely in on trying to re-sign Trey Lance. And we said that we talked about this before the season expired, going into free agency. From a player standpoint, I sat right here at this table and I said, if I'm Trey Lance, I'm out on the Cowboys as well. So it just doesn't sound like there is anything there because opportunity-wise,
Sure,
Yeah.
right? If you want a
because teams are going to be lining up to sign
Exactly.
CeeDee Lamb to a huge. To sign Trey Lance to a huge deal. CeeDee Lamb's on the TV screen.
Yeah.
But the
see what you did there.
no, they're not lying.
For Trey, it's opportunity. It's opportunity because this is a Cowboys team that we talk about. The Draft Magazine. This is a Cowboys team that's likely going to use a draft pick on a quarterback to back up Dak Prescott. And if you talk about, whenever they might do it, could it be like a 4th or 5th round or whatever the case may be? Will Greer is still in the building. Maybe Trey Lance feels that there will be a better opportunity for him to immediately become someone's QB2 with a possible sliver of a shot at maybe not 2025, but maybe 2026, proving himself worthy to be somebody's QB1. I just don't see that opportunity is in Dallas.
But to your point, I mean, it's not free agency isn't over yet.
No, it's not.
It's not done. The transactions have slowed down for sure, but there are still quality QB free agents that are out there.
In that conversation I had, they're in conversations with a couple.
Okay.
Names are not going to be revealed.
That's all right.
But this is the time of the stretch of free agency where price points start to come down.
Exactly.
And the Cowboys are waiting for the veteran price points to come down on those backup quarterbacks.
Good.
Sam-
So we're bargain shopping.
Well, I mean, look,
We are so back.
look at it
are
though.
so
Sam
bad.
Darnold got paid 3 years, $100 million to go to Seattle.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, 2 years, $40 million. We're in the Kyle Trask business. You know what I'm saying? He got paid 2.8.
Dude, that
for
just
1 year.
made me sick. Like a little bit in my stomach. Like I just felt like I needed to throw up a little bit.
I understand what you're saying, but if you look at the names that are out there, and granted, these are not like necessarily the top
in the
Kyle Trask.
Tyler Huntley business.
Okay. Any of these names catching you guys at all? Joe Flacco,
No,
Drew Lock,
absolutely not.
Carson Wentz,
Drew Lock.
Stop.
Desmond Ritter.
Plot twist, Carson Wentz ends
Okay,
up in Dallas.
Ritter would be interesting for me because it's still a young guy, and I think he compares skills. That's another thing you got to look at. You got to look at the skill set of Dak Prescott.
Exactly.
Because we've heard, and Brian Schottenheimer has made it very clear that a lot of times, as an offensive coordinator, he said this in the past, you change your offense towards your quarterback. When it was Dak Prescott to Cooper Rush, there was a vast difference. From Cooper Rush to Trey Lance, there was a vast difference in what you could do from a quarterback skill set. Now you got to look at maybe, now that Schottenheimer is the guy, that was what he was saying as an offensive coordinator. If you hit these breadcrumbs along the way, you could possibly say, hey, maybe it's a guy that it compares to Dak Prescott. And I think not that Desmond Ritter is Dak Prescott, but we're talking about skill sets here.
Similar skill sets. Josh Johnson's also out there.
That's
But
one.
There's a bridge that we can make. You know what I mean? There's a bridge between finding the quarterback of the future and finding a solid backup now. And I don't know, maybe a Teddy bridge. Water.
Bridge over water.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Water under the bridge?
going to have to have a stopgap. Like, you're going to have to. I mean, you're talking about likely drafting a quarterback, and you're not going to use a premium pick on that,
No,
which means
you
he's
can't.
He's
You
going to
simply
be
can't.
right. He's going to be developmental. So because he's going to be developmental, you need someone who can step in immediately in the event that Dak Prescott misses a game or two. And not that Dak Prescott is injury prone. However, over the past 2 or 3 seasons, he's missed several games. So you have to have someone ready to step in and impact the game in that way. So. But
That's why I hate this. That's why I hate
names,
this
nothing
bargain.
jumps off the page at me.
I'm okay with bargain shopping at certain positions.
So backup quarterback
But
is a role.
your backup QB is an important one, and we've seen that over the last couple of years.
To be clear,
Like Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush was
12.
9-5 as a starter
Yeah.
with the Cowboys.
he went and got his money. But to be clear, because I was in on Justin Fields, he was one of the options I listed in open
That would've
market.
been-
Not at that price.
That
point.
price tag.
That
too
was
high.
20 per year? No thanks.
2 years, $40 million max.
I mean, Daniel Jones signed
Not
for
even.
17.7.
happening.
I mean, he
not
signed for nearly
Yeah.
$18 million, and
the
that's
Colts.
Daniel Jones.
But I do wonder, because comparable to Cooper Rush's deal with the Ravens was like Jacoby Brissett, who landed with the Cardinals, I think, 2 at 12.5.
Yep.
I might have done that. Especially when you're talking about a similar skill set to Dak Prescott. I think Jacoby Brissett would have been.
That would have been fine.
Yeah, would have been fine.
Yeah,
but
That 12 was a little too high.
you know,
Some of these perennial
2 at
backup
12, though.
quarterbacks
6 apiece, team option for year 2. So really, it's a 1-year deal. I mean, that's the nuts and bolts of like a 2-year deal. It's really a 1-year deal, right? Depending on what the guaranteed money is. I would have done that. I would have done Justin Fields' deal. Absolutely not. But if I could have had Jacoby Brissett, or even like Cooper Rush back at 2 at 12, then yeah, because again, keeping in mind, you need to combine a veteran who can step in and win a game or two with the developmental quarterback that you're likely going to draft anyway.
Right.
Also
And if they're already out on Trey Lance, I mean, who knows?
But also, and I mentioned this earlier, Will Grier is still in the equation. So, not to say that Will Grier is a world beater, but I didn't want him to leave in the first place because I felt like he was right at that event horizon in his development where he could become your QB2. Look at what he did in that final game in the preseason, and he showed you what he can do. When he came back and he re-signed in November of last year, he didn't get a shot off of the practice squad because of the Trey Lance, Cooper Rush deal situation, how they were trying to work that out. But Will Grier is still here. So I would like to see Grier get a solid shot.
How do you feel about Grier, Kyle?
I liked Will Grier, and I think we've talked about this going back to when we were in the middle of the preseason battle, and I've always liked his skill set. I like his mindset, and I think he did learn a little bit from his venture outside of the Cowboys and then working back to the practice squad last year. As a true backup, I still think I want a little bit more.
Okay.
Which is why...
More seasoning, huh?
Yeah, and not even just seasoning, just... Either one or the other. More seasoning as a guy that's like a perennial backup, a guy like Brissett or a Bridgewater would be a great addition in that regard. Mm-hmm. Those guys would be phenomenal because I feel confident giving them the football, giving them the offense, and that there's going to be a little bit of a drop-off because that's what happens when your starter goes down. Yep. But still able to right the ship, kind of like what we've seen from Cooper Rush. I'm starting to look at this position a little bit more so as the Cowboys need to take this seriously. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to take it seriously, I think you either need to sign one of those guys or you need to get there are going to be so many people that hate this. Or you need to spend one of your first three round picks on them. Ooh. It's not going to be the first round pick.
No,
it's probably not going to be the second round pick. But in the third round, I wouldn't be shocked unless you get your fourth back. Yeah. That's my one caveat. If you get your fourth back, you can maybe go get I mean, we've seen it before. Your current starter was a fourth round pick. You can maybe get a guy like a Kyle McCord or somebody that's in that middle part of this draft that I don't think will last until the 5th. Quinn Ewers is in that conversation out of Texas, McCord out of Syracuse. I think you have to spend one of those first 3 round picks on those guys, and I don't want to spend a first or a second, nor do I want to spend a third, but that's where we're at right now.
That's where we're at. And most likely you're looking at your comp picks to grab a
try and get one currently. Yeah, and that if we're talking about that, let's go to the handy dandy Star Magazine
Kyle McCord
draft
your
guy.
Cowboys fit?
I think he was in my top 8. So my Cowboys fits are guys that are outside of the top 8.
Okay.
Still have 10 picks after you made those trades.
Oh no, he was my Cowboys fit.
Oh
yeah, so there he was. Yeah,
draft guide almost.
I would probably move him up now that I've kind of seen him a little bit more and seen him throw a little bit better.
Yeah,
I'd probably put him at like 8 or 7. I think I would move it around a little bit. But yes, he is my Cowboys fit.
Is that a guy that might be there in the 5th, 6th round?
I don't think so.
No.
I think he would probably go in the 4th. And I could be wrong. These quarterbacks tend to go a little bit higher than their actual draft grade because of the position value and because of where they sit. I don't want to be sitting here in round 6 and 7 saying, Seth Hennigan out of Michigan's doing his thing. Like, I don't want to have that conversation. I would rather get a guy like a Kyle McCord or a Quinn Ewers in the 3rd or the 4th and make it that your backup quarterback, because neither one of those guys right now have the stuff to start, but they're in the NFL and they can play at a high level.
Do you absolutely have Ewers gone before round 5 goes on the clock?
Yeah, I think he's gone. You could maybe get like Riley Leonard.
I agree with you.
Will Howard.
I agree with you, and really not liking using a 3rd round pick on.
I really don't want to.
Really don't want to.
I would rather, if you want to trade your guys, trade your comps, you have enough capital to get back into the 4th.
You still have 10 picks. You still got 3 comps. Package them, get back into the 4th.
Get into the 4th, and then I'm
fine with the 4th.
I'm good.
If you handle the first 3 rounds.
Zach was a 4th. Kind of worked out.
Yeah, it worked out great. Joshua Dobbs was a 4th round pick the next year in the exact same spot. He's still in the league as a backup quarterback. I mean, there's there's a lot of value you can get at the quarterback position in the fourth round.
Not an exact science,
Third
fellas.
science. That third would kill me though, because you have
would be a lot.
have needs to fill.
Yeah.
And we know how important QB2 is going to be. However, it's not as important as RB1 or OT1 or
wide receiver
2.
If you're in the third, I don't feel confident.
Cornerback.
But I don't feel confident you're getting any of those things in the third round. You just named it. You said running back 1. You're telling me you're going to draft a running back in the third round and he's going to be your starter? No, that's not happening. No. You've drafted a wide receiver in the third round recently. His name was Jalen Tolbert. How's that working out so far? Not as much as you would want it to.
There's some context.
There's some context there, sure.
Small program.
That's okay. You want to go draft a guy out of the mid-major programs and get it done? Group of 5 guys? So, yeah, I think you would find your value in the third round, but I don't want to. I would rather take a stab at a guy that could turn into those things.
I get what you're saying.
Rather than...
It would hurt, though.
Yeah.
Like, I would be noticeably angry.
Noticeably
angry at a QB in the third round.
Yeah. Speaking of some of these voids and some of these needs that the Cowboys have, when we come back, we'll play a little rank them. How about that?
Ooh.
Line them up is what I'm going to call this segment. Line them up. If the Cowboys had to play today against, let's say, the Philadelphia Eagles, just because you got to be at your best. It's a divisional matchup. I need the best out of you. Who are you lining up in some of these positions of need? How would the Cowboys look and fare in those matchups? We'll talk about it when we come back with more of Talking Cowboys right after this. If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this portion of the show is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, trusted since 1877. And I've just been informed that this will be the last time.
Sad face.
We are finishing the Quaker Oats bowl of cereal.
Wait
bowl
a second.
Of oats.
Where am I going to get my oats from?
Well, you're going to have to get them from the internet using the Quaker code in the corner.
We can't use the Quaker code in the corner anymore. After this episode, you can still use it.
You can still use
for this episode.
Yeah, after that.
Quaker Oats, come on now. We love
okay.
Quaker Oats.
That's okay. We'll have
Bring out the good.
Re-up.
Have a new. It's the off season. You get to see some guys go in, guys get out. We're gonna have a great sponsor starting next week. It's gonna be awesome.
The Quaker man just has his feet up, hands on his just chilling.
Signing with the Giants.
No,
oatmeal is signing with.
He went with Dan Quinn.
He went with
Big oatmeal.
Dan Quinn got him.
That oatmeal is
Got him
signing with.
again. Dang it!
Damn it!
Got it again. By the way, quick correction. I didn't realize I misspoke and I said Michigan instead of Memphis for Seth Hennigan. Just so you know, I've watched every single college game of Seth Hennigan before. I do a podcast with the American, and so yeah, I've seen Seth Hennigan at Memphis.
We know
it again.
Same thing.
We know you, man.
But yeah, just wanted to make sure that nobody in the chat that thought I didn't know where Seth Hennigan
Speaking
was.
of
Speaking of the chat,
So I have a new segment, guys. I want to talk about it. I have a favorite comment award to give out, and this is after the first segment. So I want the OGs, the ones that are tuning in live.
Let's go.
Top of the show. They're ready to rock, whether it's every Tuesday in the off season or every Monday through Friday in season. I'm going to just give a quick little bit of love to whoever has the best comment that either makes me laugh, or it's informative, or it's just downright wild. I don't even know. We'll figure it out along the way. I'm going to make up the rules as we go. My favorite comment, you said the broccoli haircut from Mason Graham in the first segment of the show.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, broccoli's going to look good. Melvin wins our best comment of the day. It made me chuckle. He said, broccoli is just awesome.
It is.
That's it.
that's it.
Simple.
No other context.
So yeah, but that's going to be something. I'm going to do this at the beginning of the second segment every show from here on out because I'm trying to promote the YouTube channel. You guys are great, trying to get everybody going.
And someone else is stoked about Draft Guide season. Draft Guide season.
That's a great one.
All
too.
caps.
That's a great one.
I
too.
like that one.
Yeah, maybe that'll be in the running next week.
Yeah.
Soon on Dallas Cowboys.
Tuesday.
Cowboys.com.
Yeah, watch live on YouTube, Twitter, DallasCowboys.com. But the comment section is a lot of fun, and you guys are doing a great job on there. All right, I want to line them up, gentlemen.
Okay.
Line them up.
Cowboys have a night game tonight. They're playing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Not good, Bob.
7:20 on NBC, Sunday night, or what is it, Tuesday night football
Tuesday night football.
in the middle of the offseason.
That might be a thing like 10 years from now. That might be a thing like 10 years from now.
Yeah, don't wish that upon any of us, please. All right.
I'll be retired by then.
Okay.
It'll be all y'all.
Man, you must be making the cash.
Is that the only
Or I'm
day
getting
that
the old.
NFL has not taken place? Is Tuesday so far?
Wednesday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Wasn't there a Wednesday game
Monday.
last
Maybe.
There's been a Tuesday.
There has been a Tuesday.
Oh,
game, all right?
they
Wait,
just
was
own every
it a
single day.
reschedule from like a pandemic thing?
Probably.
I think it. Yeah, I think that was just a.
Weather thing.
Oh, it might have been a weather thing.
Yeah,
I think it was a
meteor.
Monday, Monday Night Football got pushed because of I think it was
Buffalo, right?
Buffalo or Baltimore, one or the other.
Something
But
like
it's
Either way,
it's happened.
that none of that matters at all. So, if the Cowboys had to play this afternoon, who would be your starters at corner, linebacker, and wide receiver? I'm going to start at corner.
Okay. Caveat though.
Yes.
Are injuries existing?
Yes.
Okay.
So
All right.
if you are injured right
Darn
now,
it.
because we don't know when these guys are
We're
going to
in
come
a
back.
pickle, guys.
Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is a question mark whether he's going to be available in training camp and beyond. You've got, of course, DeMarvion Overshown's going to be out for the first parts of the season. So yes, injuries do matter. I have 3 starting spots. So you have the 2 outside spots and the nickel spot at cornerback. Patrick, I'll start with you. Who are you starting at corner?
Well, Trayvon's not ready, so I'm going Deron Bland outside. I'm going Izzy Mukwamu at nickel,
Oh.
and I guess I'm going Kalen Carson on the other boundary.
That's the thing about Kalen Carson though. Is he back from his shoulder surgery at this
Oh,
time?
that's right.
Yeah.
So,
That's a borderline because we don't know anything.
Yeah.
all
about
right,
it.
can I get?
Let's just have some fun.
Well, then, can I get funky?
Yeah, get funky
Let's
with
get funky. So Izzy and Deron are your outside corners, and I'm dropping Wanye Thomas down into the nickel.
Wow. Okay.
Let's get funky.
That is getting funky. You signed him to a re-signed deal.
Yeah, he's back.
He's your depth at safety, but
You're
you
trying
can
to
play
figure
a
out how to
little
work
nickel.
him in. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's physical. He's cerebral.
Okay.
You're gonna have to get funky.
Of course, no doubt, Deron Bland is your outside.
Yep.
On the opposite side, AFC Championship game not permitting. Okay, let's exclude that.
Okay.
Give me Kyrie Elam
Elam.
on the outside.
Okay.
And then if he is healthy, Kalen Carson at nickel.
Okay, but
But
if he's not
But he's
healthy-
not.
Andrew Booth?
Oh, you're
Free
putting
agent.
Booth down there.
Not re-signed yet.
He's not re-signed yet.
Nope.
Is he?
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm gonna go. I would do that 3. I would do, especially if Carson's not available. I would have Izzy in the slot. I'd have Elam on the outside, and I would have Deron Bland on the outside as well. So those are
Jeremy,
the
to
3.
answer your question, yes, Deron.
Great minds, Kyle.
Jeremy was asking, is DeRon Bland healthy? Yes, he is.
He is healthy currently, yes. So good stuff there. Now, moving to linebacker, and there's a reason I'm asking these questions. We'll get to that at the end of the segment. But linebacker, 2 starters at linebacker. Who are you going with?
Maris Leofau and
no DeMarvion Overshown.
Yeah, no Demo. I know you have love for Murray. I want to see it. I'm going Jack Sanborn.
Okay.
I'm going Sanborn and Maris Leofau.
Yeah, I do have love for Kenneth Murray.
Yeah,
so I'm going to go.
Respect.
I'm going to go Leofau and Murray. I think a lot of
Same here.
I think they kind of shadow each other a little bit, which I'm okay with because it is kind of a break glass of in case of emergency type of deal right now. But yeah, that's part of the problem is it's break glass of in case of emergency. But I feel confident with Murray starting.
I feel better with Murray than I do Sanborn at this very moment.
I think Sanborn's a damn good rotation option. And I think he's a guy that's going to play a lot. He just may not be my starter.
I'm sorry, that dude
Doesn't Sanborn
looks like he would knock the frame out of a Chevy if he tackled it.
I don't doubt that, but does he not seem more of a special teams and rotational linebacker?
I think he and Murray
situation?
will have their special teams shares.
Yeah.
I
both probably.
I think I'm 51-49 Sanborn to Murray. So it's not like I'm standing on the table for over Murray.
And he
I
looks
would probably say 65-35.
Yeah, so I mean,
Murray
even
for
that's
me.
not standing on the table. It's just, personal preference based upon what you saw last from him. And what did you just say? The AFC Championship game notwithstanding? Well, that's what I saw last.
Come on, man.
Well, that's what I saw last.
That played a factor.
So,
by the way, Andrew Booth is under contract next year.
oh, is he?
Yeah. He's
So I'm thinking AO.
No.
I was thinking overall.
Yeah, Booth is. When
Booth
you said free agent, I was like,
No, I was
is
thinking
that a
AO.
new addition?
No, I was thinking AO.
You know
AO
something
is-
I was sitting here thinking, I got to update the website real quick.
Hey, Michigan, Memphis, AO, Andrew Booth.
Yeah, you figured it
No,
out.
I was
That's
thinking
all
AO.
good.
We're just trying here, fellas.
Yeah, we're
Give us
doing
a
our
break.
best. All right, now what about the wide receiver position? How about that? Moving forward, wide receiver. Give me 3 wideouts. We're going with 11 personnel.
All right. Let me go CeeDee Lamb,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah, easy.
Jalen Tolbert on the outside.
Wow. Okay.
And then for your slot receiver, give me Kevontae Turpin.
Okay.
Okay.
Not bad.
You can't pick any of the same players that I did.
Where does CeeDee
Lamb's out.
Nope, can't do it.
Good Lord. Tough crowd. CeeDee Lamb, and I do love your choice at slot. I'm going Kevontae. I think Kevontae needs to get more burn. I can't say that enough times on this podcast and everywhere that I am,
Even if you don't feel great about him as like receiving, at catching, just give him a slot down the middle. Give him something. Get the ball in his hands however you need to. Hand it off. Shovel pass. I don't give a damn.
Your WR2 opposite CeeDee Lamb. I like the strides from Tolbert. I like the strides from Brooks. But I swear to you, you have to justify this 4th round pick.
Oh.
So I'm going Jonathan Mingo.
Oh.
Because I saw Jonathan Mingo with a backup quarterback. I saw Jonathan Mingo in McCarthy's offense that didn't necessarily utilize him correctly, much the same way it didn't utilize Brandon Cooks.
It's a point of contention.
I want to see Jonathan Mingo with QB1, with Brian Schottenheimer and Clayton Adams and Connor Riley cooking it up on offense, so you can at least try to justify why the hell you gave up a 4th round pick for this guy. So that's me. I'm going Mingo, well, not in this order, but Lamb, Vontae in the slot, and give me Mingo opposite Lamb.
I'm a little surprised to hear you not say
I'm getting
Jalen Tolbert.
I'm getting funky.
You are getting
I'm
funky.
getting
That's
funky.
totally the case. But I am surprised. Tolbert, listen, Tolbert as a wide receiver 3, I'm totally.
I said
okay.
he made strides.
He did.
I said he made strides.
He did.
But I need that 4th round pick that was given away
To
I
be a
need it
wide receiver
justified.
2?
I need it justified. That's where I am with it. That's why I'm choosing Mingo over Tolbert, because I need it justified.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. It's not
funky.
a knock to Tolbert. It's I need it justified.
It's funky, but
It's chunky
I'll
and funky.
roll
It's
with
heavy D in the
I'll roll with it.
Chunky, but
chunky, but
No Paris Campbell, no Ryan Flanoy, Jalen Brooks in
as
that scenario.
WR3 as we have this conversation.
Just throwing it.
Not as we have this
Yeah,
conversation.
I agree with you. Nothing there. All right, bonus round.
Okay.
Name a starting running back right now. Who's your starter at tailback? Between
Javonte Williams.
Is it Javonte?
Javonte.
Miles
Javonte
Sanders? Is it
Deuce Vaughn. Javonte Williams.
Before we hit the draft, you're asking me this question. I'm going Javonte Williams.
Okay. What would be the pick you needed? Do you need a first-round pick or a second-round pick utilized to jump Javonte Williams, or can it be anybody?
A third probably would do it.
Would a third do it?
I don't know. I don't think that.
This class is deep.
I think a third.
If you've read the draft guide, you would know that.
It just came out.
It's not even out yet.
Got a little bit of time.
It was literally
It's
on
in
my
your hands,
desk
buddy.
yesterday, right? I don't know that a third would do it immediately, right? So if you use a first or second round pick on a running back, I think immediately you're thinking, oh, well, this has to be your starter.
Yeah.
Minute one. If it's a third round pick, I think that it's a Javonte Williams situation that maybe the third round pick can beat out as the season rolls along. But certainly come 2026, that's going to be your guy.
I like that. And I wouldn't be against that at all, especially with this deep of a class in terms of running back.
I think
you're looking at here.
Most of this page, if you get any guys in the third, I think you're fine.
Most of that
Most
page?
of this page.
There's, 50 names on that list?
47.
It's
47 names?
class.
That's a lot.
Deep class.
And listen, you could make it a Tar Heel backfield.
Marion Hampton?
Marion Hampton with some Javonte Williams.
I'd be okay with that. That would be a second-round pick.
Yeah.
That would be 44
You'd have to
if
use
you
a
get
second.
lucky. Yeah.
And that would be a damn good backfield, too.
Yeah. There's a chance you might see Jahmyr Gibbs happen with Marion Hampton, where in that draft it was Bijan Robinson as like the name. That was the guy. He was the can't-miss running back prospect. He goes early, and Atlanta snags him in the top 5 picks or whatever, wherever they ended up selecting him in the top 10. He's off the board. But Jahmyr Gibbs was like that second guy. He goes at 12 to the Detroit Lions. You can see that same thing happening this year. It's Genty as the can't-miss prospect. He's going to go in the top 10, top 12 picks. Might go at 12. Who knows where the situation ends up.
Right.
But you know, Genty's that guy. Hampton's, there's a good chance he goes in the first, and he slips in there.
So I love the current conversation because a lot of people are saying Miles Sanders. So I want to be clear on something. Somebody said Miles Sanders, Hook said Miles Sanders has something to prove. You're absolutely correct. I believe he does. I feel there's a chip on the shoulder there. But you know what? Everybody in this building has something to prove right now. Javonte Williams is also on a 1-year deal. He has something to prove as well.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about
Hunter Lipke has something to prove.
Hunter Lipke has something to prove. Deuce Vaughn has something to prove. Everybody has something to prove. So if you assume that everybody has something to prove in that running backs room right now, then the question becomes who more recently was more impactful on their respective team. And for me, it's Javonte Williams.
He was.
So that's what
he was far more impactful in Denver than Miles Sanders was in Carolina last year. Now, over the course of their career, Miles has been more impactful in certain spots.
Also been in the league longer, though.
Been in the league for 6 years compared to 4 for Javonte Williams. So it's a little bit of a difference. But I think when you look at the body of work between the two, there's respect for both guys
100%.
in the building.
100%.
There's respect for them to possibly come in and be the starter.
They wouldn't be here if not.
Either guy. It could be either guy. Does it deter them from taking a running back in the first round if it is Ashton Genty, or the second round if it's a Marion Hampton or one of these other guys that they certainly do like? No, it does not deter them from doing so.
No.
And I would anticipate still seeing a running back early
Samesies.
in this draft. All right. When we come back, we've got a little extra time here. I want to take a couple phone calls. Yeah. How about that? We haven't had some phone calls over the last couple of days. 888-855-2297. Give us a call. Let's talk about this offseason. And what grade would you give the offseason for the Cowboys so far? That'll be the question we ask you and our panel and our phone call right after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
And we're going to overtime.
Erica, how much have I spent on concessions?
For questions about their money, Dallas Cowboys fans can turn to Erica, the virtual financial assistant in the Bank of America mobile banking app. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/Erica by your side. Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Erica responses may vary. Digital tools featured require downloading the mobile banking app and may only be available on select mobile devices. Erica is a mobile feature only available in the English language. Your chat may be recorded and monitored for quality assurance. Message and data rates and additional terms may apply. Bank of America, N.A., member FDIC.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this segment of the show is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys.
They ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
No, they're not. Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Chris Beam in the back. I am Kyle Youmans. Glad you're with us. I want to ask the question here in a minute. What grade would you give the Cowboys offseason? But before we get to that, I want to answer some phone calls. We've got Larry in Kansas.
Hey,
Larry, you're on Talking Cowboy. What's going on? Cowboys.
Hey, guys. Good to get on the show. Listen to it all the time. Love the show.
You're the man, Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
What you got?
Well, I want to talk about first-round running backs.
Okay.
I know there's a lot of talk about it this year because of the guys that are available in our spot. But here's the thing. You don't get a pick this low very often, or you certainly don't hope to, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's a reason they call these certain positions money five positions, okay? You've got to stick to those. You just have to. And especially when it comes to running backs, linebackers, and even safeties, okay? But especially running backs. Look what we did the last time. It's not how great your pick is and how great the player is. Zeke was a huge hit.
Yeah.
But when you get to the second contract, that killed you. Unless you're getting Saquon, which you thought you were, but you know there's only a few of those guys that are successful through their second contract.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with running backs. It's not what it does for your team now. It's what it does for your team 4 or 5 years from now. Okay. And this is about the difference between coaching and GMing. When you're GMing for the future with an eye on today. When you're coaching for today with an eye on the future. It's opposites to some degree.
No, I love it. Larry, great phone call. You got a lot of insight there, and I agree with part of what you're saying because I've always been in that same mindset of running backs. It's not the position of value in the first round. However, there are case-by-case basis. This is the NFL draft is a case-by-case basis in its own right. And the case only unfolds on one night out of the year, and that's the first night of the NFL draft. When you get on the clock at 12, there's a good chance you're not going to see Ashton Jeanty there. And the reason being is because he's a special prospect who can immediately help your football team. And if you're a football team that is in a certain position to immediately be helped, then take a running back.
And you have the offensive line there for him already?
You feel pretty good about your offensive line. You feel good about your health outside of him. You have a quarterback. All of these things add up. Plus, you add the draft class itself. This draft class is riddled with red flags. Plain and simple. There's about 7, 8, maybe 7 or 8 prospects that are completely clean bills of health at the early parts of this, or completely clean scouting reports of where they fit in a system, in an offense, in a defense, wherever they may be. Ashton Jeanty is one of those guys. So despite what you're saying, which I completely agree with, second contracts are a nightmare for some teams.
I'm going to rebut this
at the running back's position because it only happens every once in a while. You can strike gold with Saquon Barkley. I think Ezekiel Elliott was a success for this organization, except you didn't get to the mountaintop. That's just plain and simple. He was the leading rusher in 2016, leading rusher in 2018. He was a successful pick. Did he pan out for a long period of time? Not really. He kind of died off after that second contract. So I'm normally of that mindset of stay away from running backs. This is not one of those occasions because it's a case-by-case basis, and I think Ashton Jeanty fits the bill in this draft class, in this situation, and with a team that, of course, Cowboys fans are going to say right now is still trying to win now. They're still in that moment. Unless you're trying to rebuild, unless you're trying to scrap this whole thing and start it over, I still think Ashton Jeanty would fill a void that you need to win now.
And that's where I'm with it. So first, let me just kudos to Larry because
it's a great phone call.
Yeah, fantastic football, high football IQ conversation. I would watch a game and drink some beer with Larry.
Yeah, Larry's the guy.
Larry knows ball.
Larry
knows ball.
I don't necessarily agree with the second contract portion of it, but I see his point.
Why don't you agree?
Because I don't care. I don't care about. I don't want to talk about second contracts coming off a 7-10 season, wherein you just saw the Eagles get another Super Bowl in this century. Like I don't care, right? I will worry about the second contract 5 years from now because if it's a first round pick, you have a 5th-year option.
Totally fair.
Half a decade from now, I'm worried about that. Half a decade. I don't care. The salary cap will be exponentially higher. Attrition will have happened. Your salary cap structure as far as who you owe money to, who you don't owe money to, that'll be a different situation. You'll be having the post-Dak Prescott conversation at that point. Not the post-CeeDee Lamb conversation, but your offense will start to kind of reshape itself. The entire organization, as far as roster is concerned, will look markedly different in half a decade from now.
Yeah.
Okay? So I don't care about that. What I care about is this window that's rapidly closing. The Dak Prescott window that's rapidly closing.
You have all those elements.
Right. You haven't re-signed, extended Micah just yet. It seems a foregone conclusion is going to happen, but it hasn't. Deron Bland is coming up. Jake Ferguson. All these things are coming up. What you need to do is start winning games right now. And not just
today.
Not just regular season games. Postseason game.
Yeah.
Okay? So if an Ashton Jeanty is there at number 12, you don't think twice. You pull the trigger. You don't hold reservation and say, well, we're going to have to pay this guy in half a decade from now. You got to be kidding me, right?
That's the thing and there's a lot of critique around the front office right now about pushing the can down the road and trying to win 5 or 6 years from now and trying to stay relevant. Ashton Jeanty would help you win right now. Right. And that's the difference. Now,
that's what you need.
I'm not spending a first-round pick on any running back. Amarian Hampton is a great running back, but if the Cowboys selected him at 12, I would have something to say about it. If he's there at 44, let's ride. Let's get it done. Yep. You know, that's the type of thing. But Ashton Jeanty is a clean bill of health. He's a great football player. He's going to be an immediate hit here in Dallas. And I think all of those things and all of those sure things that you can find in the NFL draft, which is hard to come by,
right?
You do it. You draft good football players, and I can see Isaiah mouthing through the Good Morning Football set to us right now, and he's saying, scared money don't make money.
Yeah.
And if you're not drafting a guy just because of the possibility that his second contract is going to be a failure, that's scared money.
Right, it is. And then it's also, it's kind of oxymoronic in the aspect of you draft a guy at any position, at any level, 1 through 7 in the draft, because you expect that they will excel. Okay, you expect that more of a first round, a second round, a third round, obviously. Of
course.
So if you're spending a first round pick or a second round pick on a guy or a third round pick, it's because you're hoping that they ball out.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you hope they ball out
Pick good
while
football players.
also being concerned about them balling out and what that'll cost you 4 or 5 years from now? I don't care about 4
You got to
or
take the
5
sure
years
thing
from
when
now.
it's there.
Right now.
And most likely he won't be there. I don't want to.
There's a good chance.
There's a really good chance.
What
All
I'm
signs are
saying is
pointing to him not being
Don't
there.
let a second contract concern
But don't let that get in the way.
turn a 30-year drought into a 35-year drought.
Yeah, exactly.
No. I love the phone call, Larry. Really.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a great call.
Great.
And everybody's entitled to their
Great stuff.
opinion one way or the other, and you had a great one there. All right. Let's go back out to Kansas, but this is Kansas City, where Brian is on the line. What's up, Brian?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. How are you?
Brian?
Doing great, thank you. Hey, so I've got an unusual proposition. Just if the first couple of, the first 11 picks, obviously, don't go as planned, because I think everybody thinks Mason Graham is going to go in that first group, right?
That's because he's the number one defensive tackle. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
So what happens, in your opinion, and then what do you think the Cowboys would do if he falls to 12, knowing you just gave Osa $20 million a year? I don't know what happens, because I think it's a weak draft class based on everything I've heard. Meaning a lot of the media scouts have said, "Hey, I've only got 13 or 14 or 15 first round picks." there's not going to be a ton of people beating your door down to trade back. What happens, both in your opinion and what you think the Cowboys are doing? I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question real quick, Brian, before you hang up?
Sure.
If in this scenario, is Ashton Jeanty on the board?
No, we'll say Ashton. We'll just clean it up and say
Ashton's
Ashton
out.
Jeanty's already been taken,
Okay.
but Graham is still sitting there as the blinking light.
Tet McMillan here?
Yeah, I would have to say I don't think Tet's going to go probably in the first 10. I think he would still be there.
Okay, so now the conversation becomes Mason Graham or Tet McMillan. Brian, thank you for the call. I would pick one of those two guys and be totally fine with it and all sorts of it. On my board right now as we sit, and I am a huge fan of Tet McMillan. Let me first say that. Mason Graham is higher on my board. He is a higher prospect grade-wise on my board. So, yes, if he falls, I'm going to hurt by turning in the car, but I'm not going to window dress my board. Even if we've already paid Osa Igizua, I'm going to get Mason Graham to be a monster in the middle of your defense.
But another Michigan prospect?
I don't give a flying anything. Where they went to school, I don't give a flying Wolverine. If they went to Michigan or not, Mason Graham would be the pick there. I love it. Me, and I'm riding with it.
Which one doesn't have the broccoli haircut?
Is that you're going?
I'm going with anti-broccoli haircut. Let me go with Ted
Anti-broccoli.
McMillan for the pick.
I thought you were talking about Michigan defensive tackles. I was like, why are you picking Kenneth Grant there? No, and that's the thing is either one of those guys would be totally fine. And if Tet McMillan is a Dallas Cowboy on whatever the second day of the draft is, April 26th or 7th or whatever it is, I'm all in. That would be awesome. However, if that moment and that guy falls in Mason Graham, I think you have a chance to sure up your defense and really do something you haven't done in quite some time, and that's dominate the line of scrimmage from a running game standpoint and from an edge rusher standpoint, because it helps your linebackers, helps your edge rushers, helps your secondary, which is a problem in its own right. I think you could sure up your entire defense with one pick and that guy.
That's fair. Or, if Jeanty is gone, give me Tet McMillan and then circle back in the second round and give me Alfred Collins.
Which this is a deep. He said the draft class in general is not very great. It's a deep class in running back and defensive tackle, so you can do that and be totally fine.
I would be very happy with that.
Yeah, so either one of those would be fine. But if it's Graham, I'm probably gonna stick and pick. Try not to window dress the board. All right, when we teased going into this segment, I wanted to give a grade of the Cowboys offseason so far. We got to be kind of quick here. Yeah. So far, what would you give it, A through F?
Let me give it a strong C+. You've added some depth, and that's about it. Keeping crucial components to your defense and special teams is great. You brought Osa back. You got Wanye back. You got Marquise, Brian Anger. And you like the rotational signings of Solomon Thomas and Dante Fowler Jr. The running back situation is fine. It's not solved.
It's like one of those memes with the dog in the middle of the house that's on fire.
This is fine.
And this is fine. That's the running back position.
The linebacker spot is good, but not better than you were at the beginning of last season. I wish the wide receiver and cornerback situations were a little more shored up heading into the draft so that you weren't so desperate for both of those positions. I think signing guys like Cooper Kupp, re-signing a guy like Jordan Lewis would have kept you from the desperation that you now are facing with both of those positions. It would have lessened that. I just wish there was a way that we could have freed up some cap space before free agency, but... I guess there's no way to make that happen. Solid C+.
Well, no C will give the C.
You found one.
I found a C. It's an even C. You did a thing in keeping Osa Odighizuwa in the building.
Fine with that.
You did not do a thing by letting Jordan Lewis walk. So, yeah. The running backs room, you added some quality talent there, especially proven talent in Miles Sanders, former Pro Bowler. But like you said, Josh, it's not solved at running back. I like what you did at linebacker, Sanborn, Murray. I love what Marist is going to be, but the questions are still who's going to start alongside Marist.
Yeah.
Cornerback, you're really hoping on Elam.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hope, and that's a nervous hope for me.
You know what I say about hope? It's not a strategy.
It's not, and it's a wise saying. So just when you look at free agency, I think as far as all things considered, they broke even. I love that they were wildly more active this time around than last year. So they at least gave us that much.
Yeah, at this time last year, we were talking like
they at least gave us that much.
Yeah.
They have some free agent signings. They have at least one top re-signing, and they struck some trades.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. However you feel about it, they made some moves. But there's more work to be done. And I don't just mean in the draft. I think that there's still some free agency questions that have to be answered. What do we talk about top of the show? QB2?
Yeah.
There's still some questions that need to be answered. So I land right at a C.
Yeah. I want to first say they're not done yet. The draft is coming up. You could still sign a couple guys in free agency if you wanted to shore up some of those questions. So still work to do. And I think they'll make some things happen overall. But I'm going to say a C- here. And the reason being is because I don't know. I think a C would say you're the same football team as you were going into last year. I don't know if I can sit here and say this is a football team that without this draft class and without them hitting right now would be a better football team. I think there may be a slight bit behind the 8 ball a little bit because you don't have DeMarvion, you don't have Trayvon Diggs, you don't have all those guys. Plus, you lost Jordan Lewis, who's a leader on your defense. That's a big loss that has not been replaced yet. Cooper Rush gave you some security blanket behind Dak Prescott at quarterback. You haven't replaced that yet. And your running back room, you say it's fine. I think you're looking for a fresh start from Williams and from Sanders, and you don't really have a guy to rely on out of those two. No. So you need a guy there. And so I don't think if we're lining up week 1 of 2025 and we're putting it up against week 1 of 2024 and we're looking at the comparing the two rosters, I don't think this is a better football team right now. Still a lot you can do, and you're going to have a draft class to try and address that. But as we sit right now in the middle of March, I'm giving them a C- at the moment, and we'll see what can happen. I like the Murray addition. I think that's a solid grab. Dante Fowler's a solid addition on the edge. They've done some things, and they've been more active because at this point last year, I would have given them a D- or an F at this point in time. Yeah. But they're at a C-. Chance to get up to a B or get up to a B- at least.
They're not getting to an A.
We have to go.
I don't know about that one. All right, we got to get inside. Draft show coming up here in a little bit. For Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Chris Beam in the back, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long from Talkin Cowboys. We'll see you next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. How about this,